to whatever custom LUT you create, whatever color shift you want. And I just created that one in Photoshop just to make the trees look a bit more natural, a bit more realistic, not quite so green. Because yeah, Unreal has a tendency to oversaturate color by default. So I can go through that, like I said, how I created that in Photoshop later in the week or next week on stream, if you guys want to see it. And again, the same thing with the moss we have on the rock, that's all controllable through a shader, so we can control exactly how much moss we have on our rock. Checking, make sure the water is not on the sides of this rock here. Looks like there's a bit there that needs to be removed. Ruze, what am I looking at here? Yeah, it's through here, I think. There's that water texture, we don't want that. Same through here. And these substances, these layers are all blended based on a depth blend, so they only fill in areas. They work with the depth of the actual texture itself to work out how to blend them together. So it's a depth blend, it's not just a straight over paint. I do want to leave some of the water here on these flatter areas though, because like I said, I like the way it picks up the sunlight, the reflection. We just don't want it on any of these angled pieces here. Let's add some straight stone in spots just through here and here. Just give me a sec, my phone just went off. Okay. I like to work in lit mode, but if you find you can't see what you're doing, you can go into unlit mode to work. I think I prefer to work with some of the shadows so I can see exactly where I want to place my stone. A bit of an angle, so we don't want water through here. You see, I work with a very small brush. I don't take my brush size too large, so I don't overpaint accidentally an area that I didn't mean to. Let's go back to a rock, I think, through here. And back to some dry dirt through here. And maybe a solid rock through here. May mix a bit more of the mud through here, I think. Again, we've hit a new spot here where the shader has to recompile. Maybe back to some rocks through here. Or rock, I should say, not rocks. And we'll go to some mud up here on the top. And maybe the stone through here. And a bit of a gully where it looks like the dirt has been washed away and we're just left with the stone underneath. I want to leave the water lying on the top there because I like like I said, the reflection, and you will get some water laying on top of a flat area like that. I just want to avoid having that water on a really angled piece, like through here. You want to break it up a little bit though with a different coloured dirt, so we have a bit of variation in the dirt colour. Back to some stone. maybe just top it off with some rock. Let's throw some stone through here. Maybe some solid stone as well. So basically what I do is I use the solid stone texture for the top and I use this broken stone texture for the sides to make it look like the solid stone is broken down on the sides into more of that rocky look. We'll go back to some mud here for the top. back to our solid stone.
Doesn't feel like yesterday. It feels so far away. Now you're gone out of my life. You're gone without a fight. Simple things take more heart to lay it down. Where would I start? These crazy days we ran the world. Sweeter moments, time stood.
Maybe throw a few more rocky bits in, just to help break that texture up a little bit more. Because we're getting to the top of the hill here, so it's going to be a lot more rocky than down the bottom. I'm probably only going to texture it up until we see just past the top of that rise, because when we do our cinematic, I'm going to have the camera come from this direction up this like drive to get to the building, so we're not going to see anything beyond the top of the rise here. And you see the terrain actually ends there anyway. And again, we don't want the water laying on an angle like that. Do you want to break it up? Again, we're going to wait for the shader to recompile. I'm using two dirt textures, a darker one and a lighter one, just to give that two-tone colour to the dirt. Helps to stop it from looking too flat and too similar, and just gives it a bit more interest if you have that variation in the dirt colour a little bit. I'm just going to wait for my shader to recompile before I can do anything. Good time for a coffee. So we're going to texture up our landscape, and then I want to bring in some different types of rocks, because I've only got one type of rock at the moment that I've duplicated 3 times and rotated to make them look different. So we'll get some of our landscape texturing done, and then probably tomorrow I will work on bringing in another couple of variations of those rocks that we can texture up using that moss shader. And I'll probably end up using 3 different types of rocky boulders And that'll be all we'll need to then create a lot of variation on in our landscape. And again, the actual rocks are not super high poly, they're pretty low poly. So let's go back to the rock and just have a look at that. These rocks are not high polygon, they're quite low polygon. The only reason that they look quite high polygon is because we're going to take them into Substance Painter and get it to bake out the normal map from the high res mesh to the low res mesh. So the meshes themselves are pretty low res, but the normal map has been baked in Substance Painter from a high res mesh. And again, these three rocks are all the same model, just that have been rotated around in different directions. So that one, this one here is this one rotated 180 degrees, and this one is this one rotated 180 degrees on a different axis. So you don't need a lot of variations in different, you don't need a lot of different static mesh rocks to make rocks look different and interesting. And we're going to work with just three different meshes. Or our rocks. That's the one I want. I might go to a solid stone for the top here, I think. Wondering why it wasn't painting my stone in, I hadn't chosen it. Some stone through here. And through here. And we'll cap it off with solid stone on the top. I actually think I want a bit of water laying just in there, so I'm going to go back to that texture. Paint that watery layer in. So it looks like the water's sort of running down a little. I don't want it up here though, so I'm going to paint that out. Some of that out. Alright, let's pull back a bit. Actually, I just want to paint some of that out as well. Zoom my camera around here a little bit and check out what we've done. Okay, so we have a nice reflection of the water here on these lower parts, the flat parts. Because again, we're going to place a lot of grass around here. The building is going to go in the middle. And I'll leave some areas open though, so that we can see that water texture. I'll actually probably place some, we call them bulrushes here, but like reeds, flowering reeds, around these lower sections toward the edge before we place our trees on top. But I think we may leave it there for today, guys. I will be back on again tomorrow. Make sure we save all. I'll be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. I do post 10 minutes when I go live. I now post to my Twitter page. I used to post 15 minutes before going live, but as soon as you see me posting to my Twitter page, the countdown will be on, and so 10 minutes before I go live, 10 minutes when I am live, I'll be posting to Twitter. So I'll be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. Keep an eye on my Twitter page for my post and you'll know when I'm live. I do want to thank you guys again for hanging out and for watching. Thank you everyone that popped into chat, and thanks Sniper Record for popping in as well. I'll be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll continue doing some texturing work. Maybe we'll do some more plants tomorrow, maybe some rocks tomorrow. So here we go. So again, yeah, thanks guys for hanging out and for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow hopefully. Have a good night, guys.